new video. I just started one, but I'm gonna start over because it was bad. But it's been like a week and a half since I've recorded. I was just really busy last week with 2 essays that I had to do for college, and I never really was good at essays before because I never had any reason to like want to be better at them in high school and even with my general studies classes. But now that I realize like there's an Army program that I might want to join, and if I have a bad GPA for it, it's probably not likely that I'll get selected for it. So now I see real reason to try, right? So yeah, I'm making sure that everything I'm doing in the class is to get as high a grade as possible, aiming to get 100, so I'm taking a lot of my time with that. But this week should be lighter. So yeah, I went to Muay Thai only maybe once last week, and then I taught a little like introduction class to the basic strikes and blocks to some people here on post who normally do the jiu-jitsu, and that was a lot of fun. I think that I have enough base knowledge of boxing and the essentials of Muay Thai and stuff to kind of like teach absolute beginners a few things, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself and act as if I can teach to a larger extent than that. But that's still something fun to do, and it still helps some people. So sorry, I'm kind of tired right now. I also decided recently that I want to kind of shift towards focusing more on filming TikTok, at least with making more content on it, and I still keeping YouTube, but sticking mostly with like uncut full type videos when I'm talking on YouTube, and more uncut videos of my training and stuff. I got like a week and a half, or next Tuesday, actually a week from today, is another bod pod scan that I have scheduled. So as I recall, when I was 6 weeks into my cut and I went to a bod pod scan, I lost about 15 pounds of fat and gained 4 pounds of muscle. I was really going hard on legs, eating high protein, nailing all my macro goals and stuff. Since then, I went from 214 to 206 on my scale at home. And I look really good, but I still want to get down maybe another 5 pounds to kind of get rid of like the extra fat that's on like my hips and kind of the extra stubborn fat, because I want to start from a like clean slate, like a really good spot to just slowly build for like the next year. I want to be able to, as long as possible, lean bulk 6 months, 8 months, something along those lines, so that I don't have to waste any training and any growth from not having enough calories. I don't want to fall short, finish early right now in my cut, and then regret it within a few weeks once I start noticing that I have a little more fat than I like on me. But it will go a lot better as opposed to previous times I've bulked, because those times I would never count my macros and I would think that I was eating good, but I wasn't eating as good as I could have been. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Just a week left. We'll see how I do. I think I was slacking a little bit on my macros the past week, but now I really want to getting more dialed in, taking it more seriously. Not that I already wasn't, but we're gonna take it even more seriously, But yeah, I'm headed to work right now. I'm still trying to be productive when I have a chance to at work. I'm bringing my laptop now so I can do homework over there, which is really sweet. I'm trying to get some reading done, and yeah, I'm really like tired right now because I was snoozing for like a straight hour, which was very dumb of me. Really bad for your sleep when you wake up, but it is what it is. I'll wake up soon enough. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this off right here and head into work. So have a good one. All right, what's going on? So this is picking up once I got to the Muay Thai gym. Today's session, we were doing a striking focus class, which ended up being literally just a boxing class, which is pretty cool because boxing is like the first thing that I was into when I first started, when I first ever did like any type of martial art or fighting sport back in high school, so I have a little bit more of like a base for it, I guess. And this is a drill that we started off with doing kind of it's more of a reflex drill where you're just trying to touch each other's shoulders. I've done this in another gym where you like try to touch each other's shoulders, and like if you get touched, that sounds weird, but if you get touched on the shoulder, you have to do a burpee or whatever. But yeah, this was really cool. Right afterwards, though, he did come over, the guy coaching, and he was saying how, he was speaking more to me, but he was saying it for everyone's sake too. That the point of this wasn't to avoid getting hit the whole time, like I was trying to do here. I just kept down like blocking on my guard and stuff, and I could tell he was having a hard time getting into distance to tap me. And yeah, so the next few rounds we did this, I kind of loosened up and just let people touch my shoulders a little bit more, but focus more on using head movement to get them away from them if I could. But yeah. Okay, moving into the next part of the class, we did this drill where you and someone else, each put 1 foot in a tire, and we were just using a ring, there's a tire in the other one, but you put your foot in a tire and you're basically forced to kind of stay there, just kind of go back and forth, do some sparring without moving away. This is really good for learning to be comfortable and attacking and both defending when you're on the inside. This is a dude that I do jiu-jitsu with here on my base, and he's been interested in wanting to try some striking. So I've already brought a few people to this gym to try it out. So I told him like, hey, if you want to like come with tonight, there's gonna be a striking class, and he was down. So yeah, definitely was kind of being cautious of that, that he hasn't had too much experience, but he did actually nail me. Like I wasn't expecting it because I was like throwing super light, and then he was seeming to throw like super light, but he like threw a cross right onto my left eye or something like that, and I think you see it here in a second, but I like could not see after that. I was like, it was like the most awkward way to get punched. It was weird, but it was all good. So yeah, actually something that was really different about this session is right there, that's where he hits me in the eye. Something that was really awesome about this session is I actually forgot my gloves at home, and typically I wear 16-ounce gloves, and everyone else in the gym is always using like 10 or 12-ounce gloves, right? And I don't know why. I'm used to being in a boxing gym, people usually having 16-ounce gloves for sparring, and here in Muay Thai, I guess they're used to using smaller ones, but it is what it is. So when I switched to these 10-ounce gloves today, I felt stupid fast. Like I felt a crazy difference. I mean, that, and also the fact that I've lost about 20 pounds so far. And if you were curious to see like how noticeable that is, you can go back to probably the first video that shows me sparring and see how much chubbier I look. Yeah, but I'm trying to get like 5 more pounds down. Anyways, go into another round with this dude. I don't know him very well. He doesn't speak much English, and he only comes to the gym about 1 or 2 times a week. And yeah, he's really freaking buff, obviously, right? So you could tell he's like a gym rat. And I asked him, like, hey, dude, why don't you like come to sparring and stuff? And he said he's busy with work, and he has work on like those days specifically and stuff. So that's whatever. I mean, he was really cool, and I could tell that he would be like a beast, if he just focused more on Muay Thai. Yeah, he'd be kicking everyone's ass. But anyways, we were doing this drill. I could tell he was way more gassed than I was, which is a nice change of pace because so often back in like the last few months, it's been a lot less the last few months actually, but like when I first started Muay Thai, and you can actually see in the first video of me sparring on this channel, I am dog tired, like exhausted, and that's just the reality of fighting that you don't really know until you try it, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I start throwing a little lighter and kind of going a little easier right here. Yeah, so I'm going to let this round finish up and pick up in the next one.
notice when you like baked up here, down here, and then back up here? Dominic, you want to pick close up? Pass my legs in. You want to look him? Andrew.
Okay, this round kind of pissed me off after, but I was more pissed off at myself. So this is my buddy Ishmael. He's the guy who's coaching the Strike and Fight. This dude has literally lived in this gym. I'm talking like no work. Just been living at this gym like every day for the past year, I feel like. I think it's been about a year, since the gym opened, but anyways, he's really good, right? Is my point. And in this drill is like the very opposite of the type of place that I would want to be, but at the same time, in hindsight, I realized that I was going about it with like the worst strategy possible. So basically, when you're a shorter fighter, you really have to be like a pressure fighter who moves to the inside, keeps their head down, and pops up for punches, right? When you have the ability. And if you're a taller fighter, you're usually going to be slower, although stronger than a smaller person. So you usually use your length to keep distance and angle around them and stuff like that. Try to avoid from falling into, their strength. But in this drill, it kind of encourages staying close to somebody, and I was getting lit up by him, honestly. And I could, of course, throw like a power punch, but it's always something that kind of holds me back, because I know that in this case especially, I'm way taller and way heavier and stronger and stuff. So, it's kind of unfair if I really start letting my hands go, and if I get really pissed especially. But yeah, he was doing the right thing here. As you can see, he has he's inside like a really strong guard or shell, and then he comes up for combos whenever he has like a moment, And actually, he made my nose bleed for the first time I've ever had my nose bleed in all the time that I've been doing boxing and Muay Thai, which is crazy. It wasn't even that hard of a punch, but it was like in a spot where a perfect uppercut could be thrown, and yeah, so that was cool, I guess. Right here, this is the second sparring, free sparring round I did. I did one with the big dude, but I didn't move the camera there in time. So this guy is one hell of a scrapper, right? And I knew that in Muay Thai, he likes to be a pressure fighter, and he has way more experience than me in Muay Thai. But I know that he's a scrapper. He can take a hit, and if I wasn't going to kind of come up towards him with a good amount of pressure, I know he was going to come towards me with pressure like he has in the past. Like in the past, he's been like throwing fucking elbows at me and sparring. And then also, I decided to stop going I decided to kind of work at a faster pace this round, because I was a little salty on the round with my friend Ishmael, having gotten punched way more than I should have, So I wasn't as nice, I guess, in this round. But, I checked in with him afterwards. I'm like, hey, man, that wasn't too hard, right? And he's like, no, it's all good. He doesn't speak the best English, but we got there, So, yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what I was doing here. This is purely boxing, right? So the way I'm fighting here is nothing like the way I'd be fighting in Muay Thai. I could use a lot more head movement. I think right there is probably the best punch or punches that he landed on me this whole round. And, I kept on. I had a way faster rhythm, and especially being a lot lighter now, 204 pounds just about, instead of 223 like when I first came back to this gym. I'm a lot faster, So my boxing style, I was anticipating him throwing a lot of lead hooks. That's what he kept on doing that. So actually in a few moments here, I anticipate that, and yeah, you can see right there, I slip and throw a jab. At one point I slip and throw a cross to his torso as he throws a lead hook. And, I didn't throw that too hard because I knew it was going to land. And yeah, we're not trying to knock each other out here, but we were picking up the intensity. You could tell I was getting angry there, so I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting to him, But this was a fun round. It's not too often where I really let my hands go in sparring, and I think that's kind of that's kind of a situation where I have to get out of my own way because I'm like I don't know, I'm like a soft person on the inside. I feel bad if I hurt someone, you know? So it's like if I really let my strength to kind of knock someone out who's not as big as me, I feel like extremely guilty. And yeah, it doesn't really feel good, or I don't feel like impressed or proud of myself. So it is what it is. That's wraps it up for today's sparring. All right, here we go. Doing the night's check-in for today's video. So I just got back from Muay Thai like a little bit less than an hour ago. Yeah, it was a great workout today. I think I have a good amount of content for today to finally post like another full-length video. So yeah, you know, to have a normal day. I woke up groggy as hell because I was snoozing for like an hour, and you know, snoozing is horrible for you. So I could have woken up. If I had woken up as soon as I had first woken up, if I had gotten up, I probably would have felt great because I slept like 7.5 hours. I think like 8 hours. But like when you like interrupt your sleep so many times and like within an hour, you wake up groggy as hell. I'm sure like everyone knows what that's like. So that was stupid because I felt like garbage when I was at work. But I got off early. I got off like a half day early, which was awesome. My schedule right now freaking kicks ass with the doctor that I'm working with. And went home, chilled for like a little bit, and then I did like 2 hours of deep work on my classes. You know, a huge freaking game changer. I swear, man. Just right there next to me counting my macros, making a difference in my fitness life. I started using this app, and this is like, it's gonna sound like a plug, but like this app or this website called Brain FM that plays, it has like music designed to like help your brain kind of focus in on other tasks. Like more specifically, if you're trying to like focus on like homework or something, they have, you know, like beats or music, whatever type of music you choose actually to help you focus. And whether it's a placebo or not, I have never been so focused for as long a period of time as I have been the past few days I've been using it. Not ever in never in like junior high, never in high school, never anything in the Army. I've never been that deeply focused for about, I think I've at one time probably like 80 minutes straight of working. Like I was locked in. Like I've been doing that for the past few days. So that is crazy game changer that's helping me with my homework, my college and stuff. So I did like 2 straight hours of deep work today, like little breaks in between. And I was feeling a little like burned out from, I'm probably gonna have to break it up throughout the week, you know, instead of trying to cram it all in one day. But that's why I'm getting a head start, trying to get as much done as I can early on in the week. But once I did that, chilled for a little bit, and then got my stuff ready for Muay Thai. I actually took this friend that I have. I hardly know this guy, honestly, but he goes to the jiu-jitsu here on post, and he's interested in striking and stuff. So, you know, instead of us just kind of doing some random sparring after jiu-jitsu, I was like, hey, you should just come to the Muay Thai gym today. Like, it's a striking class. Coach would love to have, always loves to have people like come in, like try it out, and you know, they can decide if they want to sign up or whatever. And so he did, and it was a really cool session. I mean, we hardly drilled at all. We honestly sparred for most of it. We did like conditioning, did a couple reflex exercises where you just try to touch each other's shoulders and stuff. And then we did like 3 or 4 rounds of sparring. And then also a few rounds where like you have your foot inside a tire. So you're like kind of forced to kind of fight on the inside to not like back away. And luckily I recorded a lot of it. I noticed one thing. By the way, I got a bloody nose for the first time ever in my time of boxing or doing Muay Thai from my friend who is like 140 pounds because he landed like a really good uppercut like from all the way deep down in his guard. He's way shorter than me, way like skinnier than me, but like he's way faster, you know? And something that you kind of got to learn when you're in like striking sports is you got to play to your strengths, right? So smaller people, they love to be like really on the inside and pressure taller fighters. And taller fighters aren't really used to that. And when that happens, they're not used to trying to evade someone of like such persistence to get on the inside. They just essentially, they're trying to swarm you almost or try to tire you out. That's like their strength. And it was stupid of me, but I was kind of thinking about it after the fact. I was completely doing the wrong thing by playing into his game and trying to be on the inside along with him, because he was so much of the time, he was doing the right thing. He was so much of the time like ducking his head and keeping his whole, covering up entirely and like hiding away from me, and then popping up for like combos at a time, really fast combos, you know? And so I was trying to like hunt his head, which was stupid. I honestly should have kind of leaned back just a little bit and kind of kept my distance, you know? But, you know, that's why hindsight 2020, you know? So yeah, you can look at that little sparring session that we were doing, and you can see he gave me a bloody nose. I was like, oh. I didn't notice. Like, it didn't seem like the hardest punch ever. It didn't seem hard by any means, but like perfectly landed uppercut. No one ever lands uppercuts almost like any of the time. That was like the best time to land one, where someone is forced to be right there next to you and you're forced to stay there, you know? And, you know, after that, I don't want to say I was petty, but I kind of got called. I kind of realized like, okay, man, a lot of the time though, also, I kind of hold myself back from throwing really hard and trying as hard as I probably could, because so often the time I have such a huge height and weight advantage on people. And not that like small people can't kick my ass or anything, but it's like I feel kind of guilty to really like let my hands go and full power and stuff the way I would on a heavy bag and sparring, because it just doesn't seem fair, you know? But something that I'm noticing is I do that sometimes. I hold back a little bit, but the other person, the smaller person, they might not be. They usually aren't. Like they will hit me as hard as they will, like go for it, you know? And sometimes I feel like a gentle giant in that way. And I think that I kind of got to get out of my own way in that sense. So the next round that I got into after that was with a dude who's pretty decent at Muay Thai. I think I had like better boxing than him, but I knew that he's like a scrapper. Like he likes to throw elbows at people and stuff. Like if he like, I know that he like likes to give it to people so like he can take it, right? So I went a little bit more aggressive on that round and stopped holding back as much. And I felt a lot more comfortable doing that, throwing my jabs faster, my punches faster, and kind of not being afraid to like hurt them a little bit, you know? But that's not how all sparring should be, you know, obviously, but that was a good time. And the guy that I brought had a good time too. So yeah, right now I am cooking some chicken. I'm about to eat it right now. I stuck to my calories pretty well today. I have a bod pod scan in like a week, and yeah, I'm at like 205 on the scale right now. I'm really happy with how I'm looking right now. The only thing is I just want to stop the cut already. Like I'm getting at the end where it's like, oh, like I'm so close. I might as well just like cut it here, but it's like that last few yards. I just gotta push through, you know? And when I get to my goal weight and I'm like at 9% body fat, I will be so happy and proud of myself that I made it to that. And it'll pay off because I'm all the way at the bottom. Perfect time to build, perfect place to build up from. And I'm going to be diligently tracking my macros in a slight calorie surplus instead. So I have a lot of muscle. I have a lot to look forward to with my kind of athletic ability growing once I'm able to finally eat enough protein to recover better, be in the state of like, what is it, anabolic, like anabolism? I don't know. In an anabolic state rather than a catabolic state, you know? So yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for right now. I'm going to, eat my chicken, chill out for a little bit, maybe do a little bit more homework. I just bought a PS5 because I bought my girlfriend one, and then made me want to have one, so I bought one. But yeah, that'll be it for today. I'm going to maybe try to edit this video or another video and try to post some stuff on my TikTok. So thanks for watching if you are, and yeah, see you in the next video.